Good afternoon, students and staff of Los Altos High School. Welcome back. I'm Mr. Reeder, the Activities Director at Los Altos High School, and I'd like to welcome you back for the second of our ASB Cabinet debates for our ASB Vice Presidential candidates. So today, as I said, the debate will feature our candidates for ASB Vice President, Samantha Tang and Isabella Valentin. The debate is sponsored by Los Altos ASB and has been designed to contain questions on several topics, ranging from things like school spirit to mental health. And a lot of them were gathered from our students and staff. We'd like to start by allowing our candidates a chance to introduce themselves. So we will start with Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha Tang. A lot of you also know me as Sammy, and I'm currently a junior at LA. I've been a part of leadership for the last 3 years, and you can also find me on the basketball court, in Key Club, FBLA, and other extracurriculars. And I hope to be your next vice president.
Awesome. Isabella, how about you?
Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm also a junior. I've also been a part of leadership for the past 3 years. You can find me on the soccer field, and I'm currently your junior class president, and I hope to be your vice president for the 2021-2022 school year.
Fantastic. Thank you, ladies. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask questions and we'll just alternate the answers, starting with a different person each time. All right. So let's go ahead and begin, and we'll start with Isabella. So Isabella, our first question is, why do you feel you're a good candidate for ASB Vice President?
So personally, I feel like I'd be a great vice president because I think I'm a positive light here at Los Altos. And I've heard it from other people as well that I like to be positive and outgoing. And I think it really reflects just kind of on my personality as well, as the type of person to be a listener and be there for others, be supportive. I enjoy making memories that will last a lifetime, which is something that is really important in being vice president because it's not just yourself anymore. It's looking out for the whole school, making sure that they are also having a good year. And so that's important. And I feel obligated to almost be this positive light for you just by myself, but also as being your vice president. I think it's something that important that I have.
Thank you, Isabella. Sammy, how about you?
I think I would be a great vice president because not only has my involvement with extracurriculars allowed me to stay organized and manage my time well and open up myself to critique and change, but I'm also continuously ready to give you students a platform where you guys are able to reach out to Los Altos ASB without feeling intimidated. And also my extracurriculars have allowed me a platform to reach out to you, the students. And not only that, but the administrators, which is crucial in assuring that you and your ideas are being listened to and taken into deep consideration. And not only that, but a key component to being a vice president is being able to collaborate with the president. And I've worked with both of the candidates outside and in school, which I think is also a crucial component.
Fantastic. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. So Sammy, we'll start with you for our next question. If you were to be elected vice president, what would be sort of your main goal?
So my main goals in office would be to implement new events and new organizations within our school that just truly matters to you, the students, and would allow them the essential resources and abilities to have their ultimate high school experience. Because the reality is that not all students think that HOCO and prom and Friday night lights are the only part of a high school experience. I just hope to be able to provide a guidance and some light towards our students who have questions and true concerns, whether it's academic or non-academic based. I just hope to create an open space for students to just be able to share whatever they hope to be able to talk about, and just show them that our leadership groups are there to serve them and we're open to critique.
Excellent. Thank you. Isabella, how about you? What would be your main goal if you were elected?
My main goal is to increase student involvement here at Los Altos because with COVID, I think our struggle with student engagement definitely skyrocketed because we had lost a lot of our fun events. And I totally understand that. One of the biggest parts of Los Altos is the school spirit and the family community that we've built here. But my main goal is to make sure that everyone's ideas are heard. And so we can make next school year unforgettable, help transition back and create this positive entity and light toward everyone so that they feel like this last year it was a rough road, but the next year ahead it could be a place where we can all have our opportunities heard, our ideas heard, and give students a platform so that they can necessarily talk about what they want to see next year that they didn't get to see this year, that they had been planning to see. I just want to make sure students' ideas are heard and voice them out, and that action is going to happen for them.
Sounds good. So in that last question, both of you guys mentioned the idea of listening to students and hearing their voice. But the reality is a lot of students on our campus don't feel like their voice is heard. They feel like they don't have a place where they can go and give input and have their voice heard. So Isabella, we'll start with you. How would you work as vice president to increase student voice being heard on our campus?
Well, I hope to restore the social and emotional connection that students have lost over COVID because obviously doing school through a screen is not what you expect in the daily high school life. So I'm looking forward to constant constructive criticism from students with one-on-one conversations, just looking for an outlet that I can talk to them, and that way it's not just me talking towards students, but it's more of them talking to me and I'm listening to them and voicing their opinions and what they want to hear. Because through one-on-one conversations with students, group meetings, interactive polls, students can feel comfortable being honest and staying anonymous if that is one of the main problems why we don't hear constructive criticism all the time in ASB. I would like to be approachable through continuously using Student Senate that we have now, because Student Senate has been a really big part of helping ASB cut down on feeling like students don't really have a place in Los Altos. And I want to make sure that students feel comfortable, that high school isn't a place where you're obligated to be, but you're excited to be at school. You're excited for the next sports event. You're excited for the next event that's going to happen, the next big organization or fundraiser, and etc., just so that they feel like Los Altos is truly their home and the Conquer family is a family.
Sounds good. Sammy, how about you? What would you do to increase student voice being heard on our campus?
So what I would love to do is I would love to open up the conversations beyond Student Senate. I would love to have monthly meetings and maybe Zooms or in-person meetings if we're allowed to go back, where all students are allowed to just come and voice their opinions. And like Isabella said, I also too hope to be able to create this emotional connection with our students, because the reality is that you guys aren't open to addressing your guys' ideas unless you feel comfortable with this. And I just hope that we don't come off as the popular group or anything like that, but we're a group where you guys can truly talk about your issues and whatever you guys need help with. And I think that's essential to next year's school year.
Fantastic. Thank you. So one of the things that has become kind of along those lines, become something that young people have started to care about more and more recently, is the idea of cultural diversity and inclusion in our world. So how can we at Los Altos become a more inclusive school and really embrace and celebrate all cultures? Sammy, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I think Los Altos can become a more inclusive school that embraces and celebrates all cultures, is being able to open up these celebrations beyond Hispanic Heritage Month and just beyond the Day of the Dead celebrations that we do have at school, because the reality is that there are many other minorities in our school that we don't even recognize, such as the Asian community and the Black community. Like, these are all ethnicities and cultures that we haven't truly been able to connect to within the last several years at Los Altos. So I hope to be able to create events that's besides just talking about the month and just having posters, but truly embracing our cultures.
Sounds good. Isabella, what about you?
I absolutely agree with what Sammy said about having to increase inclusivity outside of Los Altos and implement our community as well. And I think Los Altos can become more inclusive and diverse by acknowledging our differences and different cultures that we are made up of. I truly will try to make sure that different cultures have a platform by creating an international week event, which in Vision to Perfection would be like a campus. There's different tables all around in different quads with booths. These booths have informational sections, interesting facts, and food sections for students to try and explore the world at their fingertips in different cultures. And that's just one idea I think that we can tune into hard next year, as well as I'd like to strive to celebrate differences monthly and push for inclusivity while like appreciating different genders, appreciating different cultures, perspectives on life. I think it's really important here at Los Altos so we can create an inclusive community, a home, and a family for students that feel like they're not really heard right now.
Thank you. All right, Isabella, we'll start with you for our next question. What you guys know this, one of the great things about Los Altos is our school pride, the student sections and the energy that you feel on campus when students are wearing school gear and just the pride students have in being a Conqueror. But we never want to be satisfied with that. So what would your guys' plan as vice president be to kind of take our Conqueror spirit to the next level? Isabella, we're starting with you.
So through having conversations with different students prior to this, I've had some ideas of people wanting different spirit days in relation to Friday Night Lights or different sports events, such as a pajama themed football game where the tailgate would have different food than hamburgers and hot dogs. And it would kind of be more of a breakfast situation. So you completely be turning around the idea of a night rally into a morning rally. I would love to create student anticipation with various events by getting in contact with food trucks possibly that students would want to have and getting that cleared to do so. That way students can feel like the food that they want to have is catered to them and we're able to do that for them. And I'd love to do that for the students. So another thing is student competitions. So by dividing it amongst class of upperclassmen and lowerclassmen or freshmen and seniors, just so we can have that connectivity between upperclassmen and lowerclassmen as well. So freshmen aren't as intimidated to be joining into ASB or joining into Los Altos or just joining the Conquer family, and incorporating more international and national days of to rallies and really getting the hype, the idea of like what Los Altos is all about, which is our school spirit, and making sure that we spread that around more than just our ASB and Renaissance, but to all students so that they feel they really have a place.
Excellent. Sammy, what about you? What are some things you have in mind to take that kind of school Conquer spirit to the next level?
Yeah, like I love everything that Isabella has said. And not only all of those things that she's mentioned, but I think what our school can also do better is be able to immerse you guys and our students to not just sit in the stands, but allow you guys to really be part of that noise and action and not think it's intimidating to say the Concord chant and all of that kind of stuff. And I also hope to increase like poster coverage around the campus, like covering our school from the ceiling to the floor and allowing you guys to see Los Altos for what it really is and what it has the opportunity to be, even though for the last year and a half we've been stuck at home. And I just hope that we're able to show you guys that even if you have either a year left, 2 years left, or 3 years left, that every moment at Los Altos is gonna count. And I just hope that we're able to show you guys that.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys for that answer. And our next question kind of connects with that. So part of the challenge we're going to have when we hopefully go back in August is that literally half of our school will have never stepped foot on our campus. Normally, we have to kind of get our freshmen to get used to the school. But next year, the sophomores will have never stepped foot on our school either. And in fact, our junior class will have basically lost half of that year. So they'll only have been there half a year. So really your senior class will be the only ones that have spent an entire year being Conquerors on campus. So what do we do? How do we as a school and as an ASB work to make those freshmen and sophomores and juniors feel like they're fully a part of our Conqueror family? Sammy, we'll start with you.
So I think the greatest thing to do to allow our freshmen and our sophomores to really embrace Los Altos for what it is not just waiting for the celebration to start at HOCO and to start throughout the middle of the year. It's just starting it from August and allowing you guys to have all the spirit days and all different kinds of events that allows you to truly immerse into our school's culture. And not only that, but I hope to be able to allow the freshmen and sophomores be included into our school rather just being seen as underclassmen. I hope to create a community where you guys are truly embraced and where you guys are truly celebrated as new conquerors.
Thank you, Sammy. That was great. Isabella, how about you? What do we do for these freshmen and sophomores who have literally never stepped foot on our campus? How do we make them feel like they're fully part of our Conqueror family?
So freshmen and sophomore definitely have had a brutal awakening to the Los Altos community, and they already are a part of the Conquer family, but truly making them feel at home. I would want to make sure that they get to experience the events that ASB and Renaissance holds in its full position by guiding them to our link crew that we already have and empowering that they go talk to them and find a person to really connect with. And if they feel scared to either go to a club, because that is a big step in high school, you're joining a club that has 20 plus people and it can get kind of intimidating. And I want to just make sure that you guys in the whole student body is able to feel comfortable by finding a club that is called Link Crew, which really does help freshmen feeling connected to campus, especially right now. Link Crew has been doing an amazing job of connecting with freshmen and making sure that they feel heard and that they're not just sitting at home on a screen waiting for ASB to continue to send out Instagram posts or Renaissance to send out interactive posts, but that you really are going to get the experience somewhat that we can do through Zoom. And I wish to have Link Crew in its full extent in person to be able to have the freshmen and Link Crew join together and communicate and speak on what makes freshmen and sophomores feel more comfortable by communicating, listening, and voicing. And I'd love to be acting towards what they're looking for in Los Altos because it's more than just connecting with the freshmen and sophomores. It's making sure that they feel comfortable and that I'm able to give them a platform and that I can hear what they want to say and make sure that ASB or Renaissance can voice out our opinions on it and make sure that they feel heard.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. All right, we're almost done here. Just a couple more questions. Our next one is something both of you guys actually already addressed early on, but I want to get a little more detail. So sometimes our ASB is for creating events that don't reach out to everybody, that they only kind of cater to the quote unquote popular crowd. So Isabella, we'll start with you. How can we as a group really make sure that we're putting on events and reaching out to all groups of students on campus?
So we as a collective leadership group, we need to make sure that we ask for input constantly and almost look for the criticism in a way, just so that we can create a more positive and uplifting experience. We have been able to hear more student voices, like I had said previously, with Student Senate, but reaching outside of that bubble of Student Senate and third period voices, I think by creating polls, by having one-on-one meetings, by having class meetings, by having school meetings, monthly meetings, such as Sammy had stated, I think it's a great idea. And I really think that we should go forward with that and making sure that students don't feel like it's just the popular crowd that we are catering to, and making sure that we are voicing out and advertising more than just the football games or the basketball games and just the mainstream sports that we usually do advertise heavily for Los Altos, but making sure we're also looking at choir, dance, band, and making sure that we're really including every single person on campus besides culture and their differences, but other clubs and organizations, and making sure that they also feel heard, because Los Altos isn't just made up of sports and it's not just made up of ASB. It's made up of a wonderful student body that is divided into organizations and different clubs, different people that come from different backgrounds. And we really need to be able to tap into that by monthly meetings, one-on-one conversations, Senate meetings, or just really hearing what they have to say.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sammy, What about you? How do we make sure that we're putting on events that reach out to all students and not just the popular crowd?
So I think one of the great things that we've been doing this year is that we've been able to spotlight a lot of small businesses and students that you usually wouldn't really hear from this year. And what this year has shown us is that our school is greater than sports. We haven't had sports all year long, but it's shown us the true colors of Los Altos High School and our students and how great they are, whether it's their art, whether it's their baking skills, whether it's like everything and above. And like Isabella said, having continuous polls, meetings, Google Forms, and abilities that students are able to even show their ideas anonymously if that's what they wish to do, that would just be able to allow us to reach out to those students. And like we had mentioned before, it's that emotional connection between our ASB and our student body that's going to allow them to truly want to open up to us, and not just the popular students, but students who just feel like they haven't truly found a place in Los Altos, even though they are part of the Conquer family.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right. So we've been having a lot of kind of serious conversation here. We're almost done, and it's time for us to have a little bit of fun. So we're going to relax. We're going to do a little lightning round. So I want quick responses from you guys. One word or just short phrase answer. Okay. And we'll bounce back and forth. So Sammy, we'll start with you. First question, dream vacation. Go.
Japan.
Isabella, how about you?
Bali.
Bali. Isabella, the best kind of pet?
A dog.
Sammy, how about you?
A dog.
All right. Okay, let's get serious now. Sammy, we'll go into you. Best froyo topping is?
Popping boba.
Ooh, which flavor?
Strawberry.
Okay. Isabella, what about you? Best froyo topping?
Cheesecake bites all the way.
Solid. Isabella, what is the most underrated holiday?
Thanksgiving.
I'm getting hungry. Sammy?
Thanksgiving, because it's between two other holidays.
Oh, the sandwich, the meat in the middle. All right. All right, Sammy. Favorite Los Altos teacher?
My favorite is Mr. Hidell.
All right. Isabella, what about you?
My favorite is Miss Ferris.
You guys both failed that. You were supposed to say me, but whatever. Okay, so next up, Isabella, what's the best school lunch food?
Pizza, but on a good day.
On a good day. The pizza varies. Like some days it's good, some days it's not.
Absolutely.
All right, that's the kind of stuff teachers don't know. We don't get out there enough. Sammy, what about you? Best school lunch food?
This sounds weird, but it's salad, but it has to be with the Asian dressing. Has to be.
I've heard that one's solid. Very good. Sammy, pineapple on pizza? Yeah or nay?
Nay.
Nay. Isabella, what about you? Pineapple on pizza?
Nay.
Nay. Good. You guys both got that wrong. Pineapple on pizza is. Isabella, finish the sentence. Taylor Swift is?
Bay.
Sammy, Taylor Swift is?
I was going to say Bay. She literally read my mind.
Fantastic. And the last question, Sammy, one song to get the crowd hyped at HOCO. What are you going with?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Oh, I can't even think of one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Isabella, how about you? You got one song to get the crowd hyped at HOCO. What are you going with?
This was the hardest question. No Hands by Waka Flocka.
All right, I'll put it on my playlist to make sure it's clean and okay.
Clean version.
I like it. All right. So let's end with you guys just saying any last words to your potential voters. So Isabella, we'll start with you. What would you like to say to close out?
So what I had voiced in my campaign video is it takes two, a wonderful student body that we already have, and a representative, and I am ready to help aid in creating memories for you. Whether it is your last year here at Los Altos or it is your first, I am here for you, Los Altos, and I am ready to be your vice president for the 2021-2022 school year.
Excellent. Thank you for being here, Isabella. We really appreciate it. Sammy, what last words would you like to say to your potential voters out there?
You students are the heart and soul of ASB's purpose, and you are what keeps us working every day. Because the reality is that ASB, we don't serve ourselves, but we serve you, the students. And everything that you guys want to talk about, everything that you guys desire is basically our purpose at this school. And whether it's going to be your next 3 years, your last year at Los Altos, I just hope that I can be that emotional support, that line of communication, and everything and above. And something that I also want to include is I just want to be able to be a peer, not just a position, just the vice president, but I hope to be just your friend and just your classmate.
All right. Thank you guys both. I really, really appreciate it. To all you students out there watching this, thank you for taking the time to take a look and listen to your candidates here. Don't forget that voting takes place this Friday, March 19th, on the 5-Star Students app. If you don't already have that on your phone, you can go to your app store and download 5-Star Students. And it's really easy to log in. You just select Los Altos High School and create an account if you don't already have one. If you don't have a phone and you're not able to do that, you can do it on a computer as well. You just go to 5-Star Students. You can Google it, and when you get the website, same thing. You just log in, find Los Altos High School, and it's pretty simple. And yeah, make sure that you vote. Make sure you get your friends active. And yeah, thank you again for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Have a great day.